Dude, where are you? We're waiting here, the lights are on, we're all ready to go.
Hungry. Food.
Food! Get it to go, we have food here! Don't we have food here?
Yeah. Hungry.
Alright. Hi. Welcome to Fan Strike. I'm Josiah.
I'm Elijah.
I'm Levi.
We are Isaiah.
Today we're covering Venom. And we're going to start off the strikes with Crash and Burn.
Alright, so right away in the beginning of the movie, their little life ship is coming into orbit, and for some reason it's not prepared to come into our Earth's atmosphere. It crashes and burns.
And there's no explanation in the movie whatsoever for why that happened.
Nope.
And for Strike 2, we have Vital Signs. As Edward Brock's character... No, he wasn't even there.
His name wasn't even Edward.
So Vital Signs, as they're about to administer a test subject to the symbiote. I'm not Spider-Man savvy.
That's how I see
whatever.
it.
I'm exposed to the symbiote. The thing is, the symbiote?
Symbiote.
As they have a test subject about to be administered to the symbiote, they read back that his vital signs are normal, even when he's freaking out and he's about to be consumed by this thing, and they report back to the doctor.
He's freaking out.
Yeah, he's what is that? And they're like, his vital signs are normal. It's like, the heck, his vital signs are normal. What is normal? Skin is crawling. Yeah.
Strike 3, we have lame Editeen. Me being an editor myself, I found the movie's transitions between scene to scene was very lame, and the camera angles themselves were just kind of weak.
Yep.
The whole overall production seemed As I was saying, the transitions between scene to scene were very lamely done, and the overall camera work was horrible.
Alignment's off too!
And just overall production I thought was crappy, including the score. For Strike 4,
Holes! I need holes!
We have the Asian lady that was taken over by the symbiote, and that symbiote can shoot out those little spikes and everything like that. And you would think it would leave holes in her clothing when he's shooting all those things out of it.
Yeah,
But it doesn't.
but then there'd be indecent exposure.
That's true.
it should have been rated R.
Yeah, it should have. Because there was no blood in this movie.
Not a
At
drop.
all. Not a drop. They showed no blood. It was no gore. This movie would have been way better if it was rated R. Strike 5, the biased political agenda.
Hard left political agenda. So, again and again, throughout this movie, as with other movies we've striked, they keep on mentioning that...
Struck.
Multiple times throughout this movie, at least 4 or 5 times, they talk about how our planet is on the brink of total collapse and ultimate destruction due to climate change, global warming, overpopulation, as well as with other movies that are doing this in Hollywood right now. They're really ramming it down our throats. We're getting sick of it because they're listing it as if it's this real world thing, not just this movie. They're listing it as if it's a real world thing that is just commonly known instead of being a highly debated myth.
Not cool.
Strike 6, the drones.
For one, they came out of nowhere. Pretty much thin air. I watched closely.
That's true. And also, when they would blow up, they would burst into this brilliant blue flame that looked like it was from Asgard or something like that. These are supposed to be drones from Earth.
With Earth explosives.
With Earth explosive. It doesn't make sense.
You can't make a blue explosive.
Okay, fine, I'm cool, I'm fine.
Also, my complaint was during that motorcycle/car chase, whenever one of those would blow up or whenever their projectiles would blow up, they're powerful. It would send cars flying, through the air and stuff. Now, to use a car door as a shield, Venom rips the door off, puts it on his back, and when the drone hits it and goes boom,
Nothing happens.
it'll blow up the entire car, but it won't blow up a car door.
Nope.
In
Doesn't
fact-
even project him.
No, physics. They eliminate the physics of everything else that bomb was supposed to be doing, and just it doesn't even propel him forward. Lousy.
Strike 7. Airtime.
Yeah, so when Eddie Brock is riding the motorcycle and he goes and just hammers the throttle, hits this big hill, and he catches what, like
50 feet.
Yeah, 50 feet of air at
keeps
least.
going.
He's just flying through the air. There's no way that motorcycle could go fast enough to get him that much speed to catch that kind of air.
Speaking of the motorcycle, when he got on the motorcycle, he just pretty much grabbed it with one hand and took off. He
Well-
didn't start it.
Yeah, the light came on. The light came on and the motor roared. The second that his hand grabbed, his second hand was behind. He reached forward, grabbed it, and went vroom and cha.
Yeah.
Just like that. Cha-pow.
Strike 8, Inconsistency.
So they showed earlier on in the movie that when a symbiote leaves its host that it was inhabiting, it kills the host when it leaves it. Later on in the movie, they kind of deserted that concept.
All right. So also in the inconsistency, we have when Anne cranks up the loud speakers at the launch site and puts out that frequency.
That stopped both of them.
Yeah, that took both of them out of suits. One, it doesn't show her shut them off. So for no reason at all, it stopped or whatever, and they get back in the symbiotes.
And then Riot jumps back in the ship. And why didn't she turn it back on? Because she knew it would work.
She didn't shut it off.
But what was at the launch site
Yeah,
that would cause that kind of frequency?
Way too convenient.
With
It's
the
just-
dialogue.
It's lazy script. Yeah.
Strike 9, we have Anne.
Eddie Brock and Anne are both compatible with Venom, the symbiote,
Yeah.
the same symbiote.
Well, they made it...
It doesn't make sense.
No, because they made a big deal earlier in the movie that he had reached symbiosis so soon, and that was such a wow factor.
Yeah.
And it even took a couple days for him. But as soon as she connects with Venom,
It's instant. So
immediate reaction.
It's doesn't make sense.
No, so why would those two...
Yeah, a male and a female.
So
would be
different.
compatible.
They have a perfect match for Venom.
Because they connected.
When?
They were engaged. They had sex, like for years probably.
We're
They
not
were all
using that.
connected already, so it makes sense. It was like it's like an STD,
Not a parasite. We're not using that.
maybe like a parasite,
Strike 10. Final fight.
or like a molasses fight. So it kind of looked like during the final fight, a jar of molasses being shaken, and the molasses was fighting itself. As they go at it, Riot and Venom and the symbiotes are fighting. They're just kind of swimming together, and it's supposed to be this big epic fight. And between the camera work that we mentioned earlier and just the nature of what these things look like when they're coming apart during the fight,
You can't see anything.
I do like that they have different abilities. You know, there's not just like this perfect mirror fight, but you can't see what's happening anyway. So it's kind of,
It was lazy.
yeah, kind of a pointless fight almost. Now we're done with the strikes and we move on to the likes.
Yeah, he's a cat.
When Edward Brock is talking to Anne,
X.
his ex, Anne, and she says that she would say that her cat misses him, except that would be ridiculous because, and he interrupts her and says, because he's a cat. He doesn't like anybody.
For a second, like, we have the screaming. First off, when he was looking in the mirror and he screamed when he first saw Venom's eyes. That was pretty funny. Also, they have the famous Skywalker sound scream. We like
And
that.
then another like was I really like the dialogue between Eddie Brock and Venom, like in his head, like him hearing it. It kind of reminded me of Inner Space.
You are seeing parts of my body that I will never get to see.
Yeah, believe me, you're not missing all that much.
So it was really well done though.
I like the gender pronoun, as that's becoming such an offensive thing these days.
I like her.
Yeah, for an alien to come to this planet, be here for like a day, and run across a female. I like her, as he said. I'm like, yeah, her. He gets it, her. Even though he can become both,
Yeah.
he still knows it's a her.
For our final like is Carnage. I was so stoked to see Woody Harrelson playing Cassidy.
Yes.
Crazy.
No, we were all looking forward to that.
That movie needs to be R.
I had no idea who he was, but I do have one more like to add, which is San Francisco Rush. A lot of arcade game players will know what I'm talking about. The car chase scene. And they bust through that fence and they're all just vroom, vroom. Just like the old San Francisco Rush game, it brought me back to happy childhood days. We want to thank you for joining us at Fan Strike. Our overall reaction to this movie, I guess, was that it was worth seeing once.
It was fun.
And forgettable.
Forgettable. You'll laugh. Go see it just once.
Yeah.
So go follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook.
And subscribe to us on YouTube.
And we'd like to thank the following of these guys who shared this video on Instagram. Go follow them.
Or check them out at least.
Yeah. Give them a like.
We are Strike.
No, we gotta go find Isaiah.
Oh, wait. Where are they?